These guys are ridiculous. These guys are ridiculous.
Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another How About Them Celtics video. We've been trying to start for the past while and the audio wasn't working. That's okay. Our music intro will start, so they won't see that happening. But we have the gang here. Me and Sam are here, joined by Noah, Bobby, and Bobby. The Bobbies are on the end. Noah's in the middle. Audio is probably to be very scuffed throughout this video because we all have our own mics, but we don't have the super cool device that producer Amit told me to get because, one, I didn't have time, and two, it's really expensive and I didn't want to pay for it. So we're scuffed and we're just going to unmute when we want to talk, and we're going to mute when we're not talking. But hello, everybody. Sam, how are you doing today? Obviously, you're always here, but
fantastic. I mean, we have so many more friends now. It's usually just me and you. Now I have all these other people to talk to. It's fantastic.
It's a good time. Noah, how are you doing?
Am I muted now? Can you hear me?
We figured it out.
Let's go.
Why have I had two fumbles?
So once again, I ask you how you doing, Noah?
I'm well.
Bobby, when I say Bobby, first Bobby will be the closest to me. So Bobby Manning, how are you doing today? Wait. Bobby Manning, say that one more time for me. No, he wasn't. It was over here because we were testing stuff. Bobby, one more time.
I'm reaching my Vegas capacity, but the Aces game was fun tonight, and here we are podcasting.
See, you guys are all laughing because of how scuffed this is. The viewers are used to it at this point. They're used to this level of shenanigans.
I mean, I saw you record a podcast on the way back from Cleveland, whispering into the mic. There was no light on your face. I was like, "How is the show going on right now? This is unacceptable."
Everybody comes back for some reason. They still show up and watch us. I don't know why.
I mean, much respect that Jack played around with the glitches on that car ride episode, where it was just like he'll figure out when he's back in on the stream and go from there. Also, I once sat next to Jack in Philly and couldn't hear a word he was saying as he was recording. He is the softest talker on a podcast I've ever seen, which is a gift.
I try my best. You got to do what you got to do. Bobby, I was going to ask you next. How you doing?
Doing fantastic.
Bobby
got hit with the double Bobby.
We knew. We already established one Bob, then two Bob. And shout out to Jack for bringing Scuff as the who's back of the week.
We could do Bobby and Robert.
Absolutely not, Dalzell.
Yeah,
I refer
Bobby's on both one side was not smart.
I refer to Manning as Bob. So we could go Bob and Bobby.
You like
I'll
Bob?
go Bob. It's my Twitter thing anyway.
Oh, facts.
I'm absolutely not going to remember to call Bobby Bob, but that is
I can
okay.
move back also. So there's
You got to mute when you're not talking. I can see your light. You're the only one who I can catch in the act who's not muting because I can't see their button.
You can catch me.
I could. But we're just going to go through, talk about Vegas, talk about our favorite players from Summer League. I'll go reverse order because I hit Bobby K last. So Bobby K, you'll get first dibs. And just because I know some people are going to have repeats, I'm going to say no repeats. So Bobby K, who's been your favorite Celtics Summer League player so far?
Well, if Springer had played in 2 games, I probably would have picked him. But since he didn't, I'm not. And therefore, I would say that I've been really enjoying the Baylor Shireman experience. I think that's one that was going to be high on everyone's leaderboard going in. But in particular, it's the other elements of his game. Everyone knows he can shoot, but it's the competitive nature. It's how he bounced back after not a great defensive performance on Saturday. And there's a few times where he locked up Dalton Connect, stayed draped on his shooting arm, and was able to force some tough misses. So I like the all-around nature of Shireman's game plus his competitive spirit.
I love that. B-Man?
It's tough not to go Kada right now because he's going to play a role this year. He's the only guy in this team that I think you can say is absolutely going to play a role because of the center position. I didn't love the first game, but there's still that level of physical dominance you saw from him. And then for him to carry it into the second game where he just blew everybody away essentially in those first 2 minutes. That was great to watch. And I love how they're investing in him. DJ was talking about how they're changed around the defense and trying to make him more comfortable in that position. I think you saw it in that game. And he's definitely a guy that you can see sitting down early because he's just dominating so much. And that's what you want to see from anybody who's already played NBA minutes out there so far.
Definitely. Noah, you got a favorite?
I'm going to go with J.D. Davison, who I feel like in general has been asserting himself as like the leader of this team. This is his third summer league with the Celtics, and I think that he there's still questions around whether he's going to be able to be a legitimate NBA player in the next few years, and particularly for the Celtics. But I do think he's shown through 2 games like that he can be a floor manager, that he can be one of the best players on the floor. And his shot wasn't like the best game 2, but game 1 he like literally couldn't miss. So I don't know. I've seen a lot of growth from him over the last year. It's rare you can see someone for this long with one club like just improving, and that's kind of what we've seen from him. And he seems to be really happy to be in Boston. Made that very clear when he talked to us today.
Sam, do I have to ask?
So I'll give a shout out to Springer first. That's my dog. He looked great in game 1. Was the focal point of the offense the entire time. He looked comfortable doing that. He didn't turn the ball over a single time, even though he was being asked to create not only for himself but for other people. And he was scoring, at all levels. He was making threes, shot 3 of 6, got to the rim, and had a couple tough bump fadeaways in the lane.
PrizePicks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active users. PrizePicks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps on PrizePicks, it's just you against the numbers. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. Get in on the daily action with your friends and become part of the PrizePicks community. If you're looking for promotions, PrizePicks has got you covered every single week. From lowering select player stats projections on Tuesdays to help your lineup hit, or getting your entry fees back if you have a losing lineup on Fridays. PrizePicks is available in more than 30 states across the country, including California, Texas, and Georgia. Sam and I use PrizePicks all season long. You guys saw it before all of the pregame shows, but now it's the offseason, so we got to find some other things. Take a look at the Red Sox. Jarren Duran. Never know. He's been pretty good. Might as well take a look at his hits. You look at Caitlin Clark, the WNBA. You look at Alyssa Thomas, the WNBA, the Connecticut Sun, right there. The points. More or less, who knows? They're pretty good this year. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. That's code CLNS on PrizePicks for a deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy.
But I'll also shout out Watson. I think Watson has been really, really good at just being where he needs to be at all times. He has been right place, right time guy for both of these games, and it's really helped him maximize his minutes. He mentioned wanting to shoot more threes, but also when he spoke to you guys at the press scrum, he was like, yeah, like this is what I do. Like I'm good at making cuts, being in the right spot. And he's been all over the offensive glass too. Like I've just really liked what we've seen from him, especially really for most people having it be their first impression of him.
Yeah, just take 2. Just take 2. There's not another guy else to go or anything. Just take 2 of the
well,
there's
there's one major guy left that I'm sure you would love to talk about. So I figured that Watson would not get any shine. So go ahead.
I was going to go Jamias Ramsey, actually.
Okay.
So I was just messing with you. Now, Jamias Ramsey's been really good. He seems like the guy that, at least me personally, I didn't expect him to be as good. Yeah, it was pressing a little bit at the start of the Lakers game, but he did end up sort of settling in, and he's just making shots now. I mean, we said it in the last podcast. He was somebody who struggled with 3-point shot at the start of his career. Now they're just all going in now. Unfortunate, Jordan Walsh hasn't gotten a name drop through the first 2 games of the league. Bobby Manning shaking his head. Bobby not pleased with Shea Walsh so far.
No, it's just sad because you want to see a guy like that take a real leap here. Like I said, not necessarily asserting himself to a position where he doesn't have to play anymore and he's just dominating that much, but showing that there's steps there or moves in the right direction. He came into this one to play this year, and you haven't seen anything so far that would make you think that's possible. Of course, it's just 2 games. A lot of it's bad shooting for sure. But he went into the first game, he admitted, with a bad approach. And I don't know how that happens, especially with how well he handled his role up in Maine.
So I actually thought it was understandable that when you have a role in Maine where you have to sacrifice and you don't get to show off and try to be the guy and say, hey, look at me. So you go into the first summer league game in particular, and you want to show, hey, here's what I can do while shouldering more of an offensive load. I understand that. And I actually say good for him for course correcting so quickly after one game. Okay, this isn't what worked for me in Maine. It's not my role with the Celtics if I'm to have one. So good for him. He looked much better defensively. That was something that DJ McClay talked about, that they really hammered for a few individuals and also the collective after the Miami loss. And offensively, I understand that he went 0 for 5, but it was much more operating within the team construct. And whereas he let frustration get the best of him on Saturday, I thought he had more of a level-headed approach. So I thought it was a nice bounce back, even though the shooting wasn't there.
Definitely.
And I think for Jordan, the thing is that he has to make his name on defense. Like that's going to be That's who he is. That's why he was drafted. Like, I want to see Jordan lock people down these next few games, assuming that he's going to get more opportunities here. I don't think he's going to get shut down for Summer League. Like, I mentioned this a couple of times now, but like Jaden Springer, when he gets those matchups, like you see a guy that's like, okay, that's a defensive specialist, and you're going to see it in the league. And like, with Jordan, you've seen it in spurts, but not consistently. Like, he gets fouls, he gets out of position. So I don't really care. Like, the shot is improved. It was pretty consistent in Maine. Whether he's on a good shooting streak right now here in Summer League is kind of inconsequential, but you want to see him, especially with Jaden probably being done for Summer League. Like, you want to see him take those matchups up for the rest of the league, Summer League, and like actually like really bother people.
I thought he did a good job of bouncing back. I know we kind of talked about it, but he did not let a slow shooting night slow him down against the Lakers. Like, the three-point shot still wasn't there, but he was able to create for himself. He got inside of the basket off of cuts. He drove and had a tough finish through traffic. He had a bump for a fadeaway, and I believe he had 3 steals in that game with a block. So he piled up the defensive stats. Whether or not that actually means anything is a different story, but for him, it felt like he was far more engaged and he was trending in the right direction. Now, we'll see tomorrow or later today as you're hearing this, whether or not he decides to show up big time against the Hornets. But again, right direction after a game he's told everybody he doesn't ever want to think about again.
He's handled it well, especially for a young player, which is a good thing. We can talk about Vegas ourselves a little bit. I just thought of this. We could do it for the pod. I think it'd make a great segment. How about everybody go through what's been your high of the trip? What's been your low of the trip? I think that'd be a great way. No, I'd love to start with you, if you wouldn't mind giving me your high and low of the trip.
I have 2 lows. Okay. One of my lows is that every time I want to get to one place that's 10 minutes away, it takes an hour and a half because the Uber doesn't come, or it's supposed to be a 10-minute walk and ends up being an hour walk because there's tunnels and stairs, and it's just frustrating. My other low would be that we denied housekeeping in the hotel, and so there's just accumulating trash everywhere, and there's no soap. And
I didn't want people coming in the room.
You can ask for more soap.
It was a bad
They can
decision.
come in when you're not here. We took an L on this.
Yeah, it's just a massive disaster. I arrived one day after you guys let this happen, and lesson learned: next time we need housekeeping.
So no highs on the trip, or
Sorry, no, it's fine.
Miserable trip. She can't wait for all of us to leave tomorrow.
I wanted to start with the lows so I can finish with the highs. The highs would be, I think, honestly, just getting to be in a space where everyone is just there to watch basketball and talk about basketball, and there's not that feel of like, oh my gosh, like this player is walking by, there's 1,000 fans crowding around him, like everybody's just kind of walking around, all these head coaches, players, like all these NBA people, and everyone kind of seems to be on like a level playing field. Like when Jaylen Brown showed up yesterday, he was like a different level of stardom, and obviously like that was a whole spectacle. But outside of that, like you're just kind of walking around, you're immersed within, Mike Malone walking by, Calvin Booth, like everybody's just kind of normal, and you can just chat with them like normal people, and you don't get that a lot in the NBA. So that has been super cool to me, and just getting to meet a lot of people that I only know from Twitter, like in real life, and actually putting a face to the Twitter handle was cool.
Love that. Bobby K, highs and lows.
The high is similar to what she's saying. It's just being here, whether it's getting to watch the games or interact with people, whether it's coaches, whether it's front office, whether it's media. So the high is really just being here. Is almost the entire NBA world has descended upon Las Vegas. I really don't have a low. I'm up in gambling as well, so that's nice.
What about housekeeping?
Housekeeping is an L for sure, so that can go on the lows. And then also just like, I don't mind the heat, but at times when it's bearing down on your neck and you're waiting forever for an Uber ride, that's a low. But really, I don't have one, to be honest.
Game Time is an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to first pitch. I remember my dad taking me to Fenway Park as a kid, getting to watch David Ortiz and Dustin Pedroia sitting in the Green Monster and taking in all there is to love about the iconic ballpark. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. Taking a look at my Game Time app right now, I see plenty of great deals to watch my favorite sports teams and my favorite tickets to Noah Khan. You guys know that's my favorite artist. I even used it while in Las Vegas for Summer League to get tickets to a women's basketball game. Some of my favorite features in the Game Time app include letting me see what the price is going to be with fees included. It makes so much easier to take a look and see what the actual price I'm going to pay is. Also, you get to see exactly where you are sitting. It's a great way to know exactly the experience you're going to get. I also love the fact that you can get great last-minute deals. Save up to 60% off buying last minute for sports, concerts, comedy, theater, or anything else. Take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CLNS for $20 off. B-Man, thoughts?
Yeah, all the highs have been eaten for sure. I'm going to go Blueberry Hill. Amazing experience there. And I've been there
Loved
3
it,
times
yes.
now, which Noah would put as a low for sure. I haven't felt a lot of lows either. I guess the low's been walking around everywhere and dying because of it. As I've tried to.
You walked to the arena yesterday from
I've walked to
a
the arena
long
twice.
way
Big
away.
respect.
Yeah. And, I don't want to deal with the Ubers and all that, like Noah said. So I'm battling through and I'm paying the price, but I like walking and you just have to fight through it. I can't think of another brutal low. I guess that night we were walking around with like my 40 pounds of equipment I'll add in there too. But like Bobby said, I've done well on the craps. I've done well gambling overall. So that goes in the high too, I'd say.
I think we might. Are we all winners in this room right now?
No, I'm not a winner.
Oh, that was me.
Not a winner.
Yeah.
You're also not a winner?
I'm -7.
Horses.
It's really not that bad.
Oh, the horses
considering I
got
lost
you.
$100.
She started up 1, and then things
Up one,
changed.
lost 100, and then I won 30.
The $13 beer was a killer too. That was a low moment.
The
for
the
sure.
expensiveness of everything, I would say, is a low. Like, I've joked with you guys, like the U.S. dollar here is worth significantly less. You're paying like what was it, $17 for a piece of pizza or something the other day that you
Exchange
guys
rate.
saw? It's crazy. Like, they just jack everything up around the strip because they kind of can. It's hard to get off of the strip without taking an Uber.
That's
like,
why Blueberry Hill's the high.
it is. And we also went to this Thai place that was like relatively
That
cheap
was
compared to what we
fire.
That place was
usually get.
delicious.
Like, it's all great. Like, so I would say the low is just how like generally expensive everything is. I would say the high is like similar to you guys. Like, just being here is really cool. Like, getting to like hang out with all you guys in person. Like, I mean, I've hung out with Jack before. I've met Bobby and Noah before, but like I've never really spoken to you that much in person. We were up in Maine one time, and like hanging out with everybody is a lot of fun. And the intelligence of the crowds at Summer League, where everybody in there, like you mentioned, is kind of elevated, like in their knowledge. Like, people are getting excited over like nice passes. Watching games in the Cox Pavilion, that's like a high school gym, and having all of these people around is so great. And, like you mentioned, like they're all about, like Wick was at the top of my section yesterday. I like turned around. I was like, oh my gosh, it's Wick. Didn't say anything to him. Didn't want to disturb him or think I was pressuring him about the team selling. But I saw him with my own eyes.
I love it. My high was meeting first to the floor. I love those guys.
Yes. Shout
That was a
out.
good
Those
moment,
guys
too.
rock.
Shout out first to the floor.
They're amazing. I have 2 lows. One low is having to re-record 20 minutes of a podcast.
That
last
is
night
also a low.
at 2 a.m.
Yep, real shame.
That was real bad. And the other one is having to walk through people in Vegas. I'm an angry walker. You guys have seen it. I can't do it. I hate it. It's probably my biggest pet peeve, having to navigate crowds.
I mean, you're lucky you weren't there today. There were these 2 fucking people, and they were on the escalator, and they had a pit bull with them, and they took the escalator. The pit bull took the stairs, and they were holding up everybody.
They were getting booed.
Yeah,
People were not happy with them,
It
including
was
us.
ass.
We also got to talk to Jalen. That was a high for sure. I was
that was
shocked
was
that
fun.
happened.
Mm,
That was sick.
You
I
did-
never thought we were going to hear from him until training camp.
your button.
Come on.
Mm-mm. I don't hear you. Let me see. Hold.
As bad as possible.
It might have unmuted. Uh-oh. Another low is us trying to figure out this audio, I guess.
If
This
need
has
be,
been tough.
the 2 of us can share a mic.
It's fine. I think we're about to wrap up anyways. Don't worry about it. We can hand you a mic for the rest of the pod now.
I unmuted.
Oh, welcome back.
Call the word back department.
You want to come back up here? Just get to sit there. I think we're wrapping up in a sec. No, I will say I'm surprised one of your lows wasn't having to wake me up yesterday.
Oh my god, that was out of control. No, Jack actually has a sleeping problem, but yeah,
I'm aware.
It was concerning.
Can you hear me?
Oh no.
It's okay. I was just slandering you. Hearing?
That's all
I
right.
can confirm sleeping problem. Like probably like once every like 3 months.
Sam had the best
Sad.
suggestion for waking you up. Just playing stuff through the computer until we see what works.
I was thinking though.
We play gunshots and wake you up.
My bad. Anyways, I think that can be about it. All their Twitters will be in the description. Go follow everybody. If you watch us, you know who all these people are. We appreciate you. Thank you, Bobby, Noah.
I feel like I complain too much. I've had a great time. It's
No, I
been a
had
long
fun.
day.
She had
No, I
fun.
feel like I sound like I had a miserable time. I did not have a miserable
My
time.
whole character is complaining. That's all I do on this show.
None of it's true. You've been super
I am.
fun.
I'm like doing a character kind of. Not
No.
doing it.
We said
I'm
you have the
low-key-
best
I'm low-key
attitude of anyone
pissed.
ever.
I'm low-key pissed because all I hear out of this fucker's mouth is bitching, and then all of you guys are just like, "Oh, he's the nicest guy ever." It's insane.
That's all we know.
When we were saying that, Jack was there.
He was like, I can't believe
There's a
this.
different side of Sam.
Yeah, we got that.
Sam's complaining has run Jack off of this show before.
It has. We've had multiple like Jack has to like leave the room while I won't let him talk about whatever.
I'm gonna get angry again. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel. I'll Sam take it out.
Hey, thank you very much for listening and watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell so you don't miss any of our daily uploads. We're coming at you with full pods Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. Game recaps the morning after each game and other videos to keep you busy in between, like this one. Leave a like, comment, tell us what you thought. We'll see you next time. You can also find us on Spotify and Apple. All of our pods and game recaps will be there for you. If you follow, they're in your feed. Leave a 5-star review. We'd appreciate it. You can email us. hbtcpod@gmail.com is the address for that. Whether you want to talk about the games, you want to send your rat list, go ahead. We love to hear from you. We'll read them on the show. hbtcpod@gmail.com. The socials are at How About Them C's for Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Facebook's the name of the pod. Our streams are there. They're on YouTube. They're on Twitter. Jack's Twitter's at Jackson1NBA. Mine's at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us. Bye.
Tic tac